You have so much potential. You have a dream, and you want it so badly. Arnold came to America with $20 and an accent and still became unstoppable. Let us audit his essence. Here's the 30-day ritual that starts your version. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you keep dreaming about is 30 days? Not 30 years, not a decade, not some slow, distant, someday version of yourself that never actually shows up. 30 days. Less than 5 weeks. 720 hours. And here is the truth that most people refuse to hear. You already know what to do. You have always known. You just keep choosing comfort over commitment. You keep choosing the scroll over the struggle. And every single morning you wake up, roll over, and tell yourself tomorrow, you are writing the first line of a story that ends with regret. So before we go any further, I need you to ask yourself one question. Not out loud, just sit with it for a moment. When you picture the person you were supposed to become, the disciplined version of you, the focused version of you, the version that wakes up with purpose and goes to bed with pride, does the life you are living right now match that picture? If your answer is no, then this video is your wake-up call, and I am not here to be gentle about it. Let us be honest about where you are right now. You wake up most mornings and the first thing you reach for is your phone. Not water, not a goal, not a reason to move, your phone. And within 60 seconds, you have already handed the most powerful hours of your day to someone else's content, someone else's life, someone else's highlight reel. You are consuming before you have even created anything. You are reacting before you have even decided who you want to be today. And the worst part, you know this. You know it is happening. You have known for months, maybe years. You have felt it. That slow, creeping feeling in your chest when the day ends and you have nothing to show for it. That quiet shame when you think about where you told yourself you would be by now. That distance between who you are and who you plan to become. That distance has a name. It is called wasted time. And it is the most expensive thing you will ever lose because you cannot earn it back. Here's what no one talks about. The real cost of staying comfortable is not just the goals you miss, it's who you do not become. It is the confidence you never build because you never tested yourself. It is the respect you never earned from yourself because you kept breaking promises to yourself. It is the identity you never step into because stepping into it required discomfort and you chose easy every single time. Think about the last 30 days of your life. Be honest. What did you build? What did you sacrifice? What habit did you start and actually keep? What hard thing did you choose when the easy thing was right in front of you? For most people, the answer is uncomfortable silence.
You wanted to get in shape. You downloaded the app. You went twice. You stopped when it got hard. You told yourself you would start again Monday. Monday came, you rescheduled to next Monday, and here you are. You wanted to learn something new, read more, wake up earlier, stop wasting hours watching things that do not move your life forward even 1 inch. But the bed was warm, the couch was comfortable, the phone was right there, and the distractions are not random. They are designed to keep you stuck. Every notification, every recommended video, every dopamine hit from a new like or a new scroll, they are engineered to steal your attention before you even realize it is gone. You are not lazy. You are being hunted by a system that profits from your inaction. But here's what that system cannot do. It cannot make the choice for you. It cannot decide that today is different. It cannot pull you out of bed at 5 in the morning. It cannot make you close the app and open the book. It cannot make you lace up your shoes when every part of your body says stay. Only you can do that, and that's where this video stops being about the problem and starts being about the solution. Here's the shift you need to make right now, and it starts with one brutal admission. Stop blaming the algorithm. Stop blaming your schedule. Stop blaming your environment, your past, your circumstances, the city you live in, the family you grew up in, or the fact that nobody handed you a roadmap. None of that changes the one fact that matters most. You are the only person with the power to change your life, and you have been outsourcing that power to everything except yourself. The moment you stop waiting for the right conditions and start creating them, everything changes. That is not a motivational slogan. That is a law. Every person who ever built something real, something meaningful, something that lasted, they did it before they were ready. They did it without perfect circumstances. They did it while being afraid, while being doubted, while having every reason to quit. The difference between them and everyone else is not talent. It is not luck. It is the decision to move anyway. And that is exactly what the next 30 days are going to demand from you. Here's the promise of this video, not a vague feel-good promise, a real one. If you follow the system we are about to build together, if you commit fully, without negotiation, without the safety net of "I'll try," 30 days from now, you will not recognize yourself. Not because you will have achieved everything, but because the person doing the work will have changed. Your identity will have shifted. The way you talk to yourself in the morning, the way you show up when it's hard, the way you see what is possible, all of it will be different.
30 days is not a long time to change your life, but it is exactly enough time to change yourself. Before we build the blueprint, I want to introduce you to a man who understood this better than almost anyone who has ever lived. A man who was told from birth that everything was working against him and decided that none of it mattered. 1968. A 21-year-old with $20 in his pocket, a name nobody could pronounce, an accent that made people laugh, and a body that most people thought was absurd, stepped off a plane in America. He had no connections, he had no backup plan, he had no safety net. What he had was a vision so clear, so specific, so unshakable, that it functioned like a compass even when everyone around him was telling him he was lost. That man was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And before you think this is just another story about a famous person, stay with me. Because Arnold's story is not about fame. It is about what happens when a human being decides, completely and without compromise, to become unstoppable. He grew up in Thal, a tiny village in Austria, in a household with no running hot water and a father who believed that Arnold's dreams were a waste of time. He was the farm boy who woke up at 6 in the morning for chores, who was told to be practical, to be realistic, to stop reaching for things that were not meant for people like him. And in that environment, with that pressure, that poverty, that constant message of "not you," he made a decision that changed everything. He decided to trust himself. That is the first of Arnold's 6 rules of success, and it is the one that most people skip over because it sounds simple. Trust yourself. But what it actually means is this. When everyone around you is telling you that your vision is crazy, when the noise of doubt is louder than the voice of belief, you choose the voice inside you. You commit to it. You act on it. Even when acting on it means waking up at 4 in the morning to train before a shift laying bricks. Even when it means choosing iron over comfort for 5 hours a day. Even when no one else can see what you see. Arnold moved to America with $20. While other people would have spent those first weeks trying to get comfortable, trying to adjust slowly, trying to find the easy path, he trained. He worked construction during the day, and he trained for hours after. He enrolled in English classes while simultaneously studying business. He was building himself in every direction at once because he understood something that most people never learn. The work does not pause because your conditions are not ideal. The reps still count even when you are tired. The progress still compounds even when no one is watching. By age 20, he had already become the youngest Mr. Universe ever. He was not born with a perfect body. He built it, rep by rep, day by day, with a discipline so precise it looked like obsession to everyone watching and felt like freedom to him. He went on to win Mr. Olympia 7 times. He became the highest-paid action star in the world when Hollywood told him he was too big, too foreign, too strange. He became a real estate millionaire before his movies made him famous. He became the governor of California, the 8th largest economy in the world, with 0 political experience. And in 2026, at 78 years old, he is still moving, still building, still refusing to stop. Arnold once said, and burn this into your memory, "You can have results or excuses, not both." Read that again.
You can have results or excuses, not both. There is no version of the story where you keep your excuses and still become unstoppable. You do not get to hold on to the comfort and also get the transformation. You have to choose. His 4th rule of success speaks directly to you right now. Ignore the naysayers. He said it plainly. How many times have people told you something is impossible? How many times has someone told you that you are reaching too far, dreaming too big, expecting too much? Arnold heard that his entire life, and every single time he used it as fuel. He did not argue with the doubters. He did not try to convince them. He went back to work and let the results speak. That is what you are going to do with the next 30 days. You are not going to announce your transformation. You are not going to post about your intentions. You are going to go quiet, go to work, and come back unrecognizable. His 5th rule is the one that separates every person who makes it from every person who does not. Work your ass off. He did not look for shortcuts. He did not wait to feel motivated. He showed up every single day because he understood that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with one thing: work. Consistent, unglamorous, daily work. The kind that nobody claps for. The kind that happens before the sun rises and after everyone else has gone to sleep. Arnold Schwarzenegger did not become the Austrian oak by accident. He did not stumble into legend. He built it, one ordinary day at a time, one decision at a time, one refusal to quit at a time. And that is exactly the blueprint we are about to hand you. Before we get into the system, I want to tell you something personal, because this is not just a video about someone else's success. This is about what happens when you finally decide to take the lesson and apply it to your own life. I used to sleep past noon and call it rest. That is the truth. I would wake up late, tell myself I was tired, tell myself I deserved the break, tell myself I would make up for it later, and later never came. I had dreams the size of mountains, but I was doing nothing to climb them. I had the vision without the action, the intention without the follow-through. I was living in a gap that I had created myself, and then blaming everything around me for why I was stuck. Then I read about Arnold, a broke farm kid from Austria with a name no one could say and a dream no one believed in. No connections, no shortcuts, no guarantees, just iron and will. And something in that story cracked something open in me, because if he could build a life that massive, starting from less than nothing, what was my excuse? What was the real reason I was still in the same place? The answer was uncomfortable. The reason was me. I was the excuse. I was the obstacle. So I made one decision. Not a big announcement, not a long list of resolutions. One decision. 30 days. No excuses. Whatever the system said to do, I would do it, even when I didn't feel like it, even when it was hard, especially when it was hard. Day 1 was difficult. I woke up early and my body resisted every second of it. I did the work and it felt awkward and forced and nothing like the cinematic transformation I had pictured. Day 7 was harder. The initial excitement was gone, and what was left was just the work, with no reward yet in sight. That is the valley that stops most people. That is the place where the majority of transformations never happen, not because the person was not capable, but because the process was uncomfortable and there was nothing dramatic pulling them forward. But I stayed, and by day 30, something had shifted, not just in what I was doing, but in who I was. Discipline did not feel like punishment anymore. It felt like power. It felt like the most honest conversation I had ever had with myself. Every time I showed up when I didn't want to, I was telling myself, I keep my promises. I follow through. I am the kind of person who doesn't quit on himself. That's not just a feeling. That is an identity. And once you build it, you protect it, because breaking it costs more than the discomfort of maintaining it ever could. Arnold did not become a legend in a day. He became one by refusing to quit on ordinary days. That became my blueprint. No excuses, just reps. And now it's yours. Here's the system, the 30-day, no excuses blueprint that does not require perfection, only consistency. The first thing you need to understand before we get into the phases is this: motivation is not the fuel. Motivation is the spark. It gets you started, but discipline is the engine. Discipline is what keeps the car moving when the spark is long gone and the road is boring and the destination still feels far away. You are not going to feel motivated every morning of the next 30 days. That is not a problem. That is the test. The people who only show up when they feel like it never build anything. The people who show up regardless, those are the ones who become unstoppable. The second principle is this: discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is changing. Every time you feel the resistance, every time your body or your mind pushes back against the new habit, that friction is the feeling of growth. You are literally rewiring yourself. That's supposed to be uncomfortable. Lean into it, welcome it, because the other side of that discomfort is the person you've been trying to become. Now here's how the 30 days break down. The first 10 days are about foundation. This is the hardest phase and the most important. You are not trying to do everything at once. You are building 3 non-negotiable anchors that will hold the rest of the system in place. The first anchor is your morning. Pick a wake time and protect it like your life depends on it. This does not have to be 4 in the morning.
It just has to be earlier than you are used to and consistent every single day. The moment you start the day with a kept promise to yourself, you shift the entire energy of what follows. The second anchor is movement. Every single day, for at least 30 minutes, you move your body with intention. Walk, run, lift. It does not matter what you choose. What matters is that you do not skip it. Not when you were tired, not when you were busy, not even when you are sick. Unless you physically cannot move, you show up. The third anchor is elimination. Identify the one distraction that is stealing the most time from your life right now and reduce it by at least 50% for the next 10 days. One thing: the phone, the late-night scrolling, the passive hour of TV that turns into 3. Cut it in half. That reclaimed time is where your new life gets built. Days 11 through 20 are about intensity. You have your foundation. Now you start adding weight to it. This is the phase where most people start to see the first real results, not just physical, but mental. You start waking up with slightly more clarity. You start noticing that the excuses feel less convincing. You start catching yourself in the old patterns before you fall into them, which means the new neural pathways are forming. In this phase, you add one skill-building habit to your daily routine. This is the thing that directly connects to your biggest goal. If you want to build something, you spend 30 focused minutes building it every day. If you want to learn something, you spend 30 focused minutes learning it every day. No multitasking, no background noise. 30 minutes of pure, intentional focus on the thing that matters most to you. You also start tracking. Every evening before you sleep, you answer 3 questions. What did I do today that moved me forward? What did I avoid that I should not have? What will I do differently tomorrow? This is not journaling for the sake of journaling. This is accountability with yourself, and it is one of the most powerful tools you will ever use. Days 21 through 30 are about identity. By this point, the habits are no longer new. They are yours. And this final phase is where the real transformation locks in, not because the actions change dramatically, but because your relationship to them does. You stop feeling like someone trying to build discipline, and you start feeling like a disciplined person. That shift is everything. This is the phase where you raise the standard. You look at the 3 anchors you built in the first 10 days, and you push each one slightly further. Wake up 15 minutes earlier than you have been. Add 5 more minutes to your movement. Eliminate a second distraction. Not because someone is forcing you to, but because you are starting to want more from yourself than you used to. In this final phase, you also practice what I call the no exception rule. There is no negotiating with yourself about the non-negotiables. Not on hard days, not on good days, not on days when you think you have earned a break. The habits run. The anchors hold. Every single day. Because the goal of these 30 days is not just to complete them. It is to become the kind of person for whom these standards are simply who you are. There is one more thing that runs through all 30 days, and it is the most underrated tool in any transformation: the refusal to announce.
Do not post about your 30-day challenge on day 1. Do not tell everyone what you are doing and wait for their encouragement. Do not build your motivation on external validation. Go quiet. Go internal. Let the 30 days happen in silence. Let the results speak when the time comes. Arnold did not go around telling people he was going to become the greatest bodybuilder in the world. He went to the gym and became it. You do the same. If you are finding value in this video, this is the moment to hit that subscribe button. This channel, The Essence Audit, exists to give you the kind of content that challenges you, changes you, and holds you accountable. Hit subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Now let us talk about who you are going to be when these 30 days are done, because this is not just about the habits, this is about the identity shift that those habits produce. Before the 30 days, you are someone who intends to change. You know what you should do, you talk about it, you think about it, you feel guilty when you do not do it. Your relationship with yourself is built on broken promises and deferred dreams. That is not a character flaw, that is a pattern, and like every pattern, it can be broken. After the 30 days, you are someone who shows up, someone who keeps the promise even when it's hard, someone who has looked discomfort in the face 30 times in a row and walked toward it instead of away from it. Your relationship with yourself is built on evidence, the evidence of 30 consecutive days of choosing who you are becoming over who you used to be. That evidence changes everything. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you respond when things get hard. It changes the goals you believe are within your reach. Because once you have proof that you can do hard things, once you have lived inside that proof for 30 straight days, the ceiling you used to accept starts to look like something you can break through. This is what David Goggins has been trying to tell us. He is a man who transformed himself from someone overweight and undisciplined into one of the most physically and mentally elite human beings on the planet. And he did it through one relentless principle. He said, "I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done." Sit with that. He did not make tiredness the measurement. He made completion the measurement. The work is the standard, not your energy level, not your mood, not how hard the day was. You stop when you are done. That is the mentality you are building over the next 30 days. Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL commander, a man who has led people through some of the most brutal conditions a human being can face, built an entire framework on 4 words: discipline equals freedom. It sounds like a contradiction at first. How can discipline, which feels like restriction, produce freedom? Because every time you do the hard thing when you do not feel like it, you earn the freedom from regret. Every time you keep the promise, you earn the freedom of self-respect. Every time you choose the work over the comfort, you earn the freedom of knowing that you are not at the mercy of your moods or your circumstances. Discipline is not a cage, it is the key. Brian Tracy spent decades studying what separates people who achieve from people who do not, and his conclusion was not complicated. He said, self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. There is no loophole in that definition. There is no unless you're tired, or except on weekends, or as long as things are going well. Self-discipline is unconditional. It doesn't check the weather or wait for inspiration. It shows up every time. And it's a skill, which means you can build it starting right now. And then there's Jim Rohn, the man who mentored an entire generation of the world's greatest success coaches, who said something that I want you to carry with you for the rest of your life. We must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment. You are going to feel pain either way. That is not pessimism, that is honesty. The question is, which pain you choose. The pain of discipline is short. It lives in the morning when the alarm goes off. It lives in the gym when the last rep is almost impossible. It lives in the moment you close the app and open the work. It's temporary. It's productive. It makes you. The pain of regret is long. It lives in the years. It grows in the silence of the life you did not build. It compounds with every passing month you stay exactly the same. You get to choose, and you are choosing right now with every minute you give to this decision. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, not just because it helps the channel, but because there is someone in your life right now who is on the edge of making a change, and the only thing they need is to hear this message at the right moment. Be the reason they start. We're almost at the end, and I want you to feel the weight of this moment. You came into this video as one version of yourself, the version that keeps watching, keeps planning, keeps meaning to start. The version that knows what needs to change but hasn't yet decided to be the person who changes it. That version of you does not have to walk out of this video, because everything you have heard in the last 13 minutes is not information, it's a mirror. And the person looking back at you from that mirror is not who you were, it's who you are capable of becoming if you make one decision right now. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when things settle down or line up or feel right now. Arnold Schwarzenegger came to America with $20, an accent, and a vision. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for the right moment. He trained when he was tired. He built when he was doubted. He refused to give the excuses the power that most people freely hand them. And 30 days from now, you are going to look back at this exact moment, this day, as the day you decided to become a different person.
Not the day everything changed. The day you started doing the work that makes everything change. The morning alarm is going to go off tomorrow. You are going to feel the pull of the old patterns, the comfort, the snooze, the scroll. And in that moment, you are going to remember this video. You are going to remember that the pain of discipline lasts a moment and the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. You are going to remember that you can have results or excuses, not both. And you are going to get up, because that is what unstoppable people do. They get up, they show up, they do the work on the days that no one is watching. They build in silence and let the results make the noise. 30 days, no excuses, starting today. If you are committing to day one right now, if you are watching this and something in you has shifted and you are ready to stop waiting and start building, drop the words "I'm unstoppable" in the comments right now. Not because it is a trend, but because the act of declaring it publicly to yourself and to this community is the first rep of your 30 days. It is the moment the intention becomes a decision. And if this video hit you the way it was meant to, if it cracked something open that needed to be cracked, subscribe to the Essence Audit. Turn the notifications on, because what we are building on this channel is a community of people who are done with excuses and ready to do the work. Every video on this channel is built to challenge you, to hold you accountable, and to remind you of who you are becoming on the days when it is hardest to remember. Like this video if it deserves it. Share it if someone in your life needs to wake up.
and come back in 30 days and tell us in the comments who you have become. This is the Essence Audit. Your work starts now.